Kim Kabensky, executive consultant with LifeVantage, and this is Dr. Nancy Bryan. Dr. Nancy Bryan is a molecular biochemist. She also holds a doctor of pharmacy and a PhD in pharmacology. Not to mention, she is a very esteemed member of our scientific advisory board. I've been in the company since 2016. Dr. Nancy has been in the company since.
I started taking product in 2014, so pretty much active since 2015.
The purpose of this video is we just wanted to talk a little bit about our liquid collagen activator, True Science Liquid Collagen, and why our collagen is so different.
Oh, first and foremost, as I always say, I even hate that we have to call it a collagen because it makes it sound like it's like all the other collagens, and it's so different. So there's three things that I tell people, and I think the most important starts with the fact that we activate our own collagen to be made. And we have something like 30 some kinds of collagen in our body, and there's only a few that you can actually take from the outside. So a lot come from outside, but some we produce inside. And so we want to be able to activate and make sure that we have those in our bodies. And that's the first thing that our product does, is that it has components within it that activate our body to make us collagen and to actually activate it. And that's important because you have things like your eyes and your brain that are a major portion of it is collagen, which is why as we get older, those are some of the first things that we see start to falter. We start losing our memory a little bit and our eyesight starts to go. And so that those forms of collagen, all to get to those spots, requires something extra special, which is what we are. So we're activating the collagen. Second, we are replacing collagen. We have 10 different types of collagen. Most collagen supplements out there contain one or two. They're important. They're the things that make your nails nice and your hair nice and maybe your skin look a little better. But we wanted to go deeper than that. Collagen is an integral part of most of the cells in our body. And so we wanted to be able to do that activation form to make it. And then we also wanted to put in 10 different forms to be able to be utilized for lots of other things like nerve health and eye health and lots of other areas. And then the third component is that we're maintaining it. There's actually this gene called MMP9, and it turns on and off. And what it does is it will break down the collagen. Well, guess what? On and off and on and off when you're young is great because you're making it and then you're breaking it down. You're making it, breaking it down, and that's how we work. But as we get older, you're making a lot less and you're breaking down a lot more. What our collagen product does is actually slows down that MMP9 gene expression. So it's slowing down, breaking down. So you're going to keep the collagen that you have longer. And so I love to use the acronym of ARM, like muscles, because we're activating, we're replenishing, and we're maintaining. And that's what really separates it. And somehow they made it taste good, which is incredible. It does come in a liquid form, which is unusual for some people. The reason is when we made it, we didn't want to add a lot of things that didn't need to be in there. When you do powders, there's lots of fillers and binders and things you have to throw in, and we didn't want all that extra stuff. We wanted just the raw ingredients that were going to be the components that we needed to do what I just described. So in so doing, it goes into these beautiful glass bottles at a high temperature because we didn't want to put preservatives in there. And so these beautiful glass bottles that we have keep it nice and clean without having to utilize preservatives, which is to me just another win in terms of what our collagen does.
I know that we just had a recent study come out, and I know our scientific advisory board was ecstatic. It is a study that has been paired with our Protandim Nrf2 flagship product. Can you talk a little bit about what the heck happened when that study came out?
Oh my gosh. Well, first and foremost, we're the activation company, right? Our flagship product, Protandim, we knew when we put it together with collagen that it would help our bodies utilize what we were taking in even better. Okay, sort of the turbo, if you will. But as we had our clinical trials happening, and as we had our science board and some of our field advisory board people getting started on the products before we had it really totally introduced, we were seeing results and things happening that nobody expected. And as a result of that, in that process, they made the decision to not only do the study on just the collagen, but let's do a study and see what the heck is happening when they're combining the Nrf2 and the collagen. And I can tell you that the day they called the science board and said, hey, we're going to have a meeting, we want you guys to hear what we just found, I will tell you it was profound. There were several of us that were on that call that were crying. And I'll tell you why. Because there were results in that study that are unprecedented, things that pharmaceutical products don't do, that nutritionals don't do. Nothing has been proven to do what these two things were proven in that study. And it has to do with your immune system, which makes total sense on why we were seeing the things that we were seeing. And basically, our immune system today is getting so banged up all the time. Everything from, you know what, the cell signaling. If this is signaling from some satellite somewhere through a brick building and coming to my phone, guess what? It's going through here too. It's going through here. It's going through our bodies, right? So we have all kinds of things that our immune system is having to deal with now. Let's think, have we had any emotional stress in the last few years? Yeah, maybe just a little. We're all at a heightened phase, and our immune system never gets a break. And it's just constantly on, which is why we now see such a plethora of autoimmune diseases. Because our immune system, once it gets banged up like that and it's firing all the time, we have genes based on our family genealogy that are going to start expressing on how to try to deal with this constant signaling. So what they found with the Nrf2 and the collagen combined together was that it actually had an impact on that immune system being slammed all the time. And it started operating better by having more proper signaling to our immune system. I almost call it like it has a touch of a pause button every little bit. And it just gives it that minute to just breathe a minute. And as a result of it, it resets everything. It gets a chance to have a breather, if you will. And it has to do with a lot of chemistry and a lot of terms I don't want to bore you with. But the bottom line is, get with the person that invited you here. They can go to the bottom of the page where we have our Nrf2 and our collagen, and they can literally print off the information sheet of what I just told you and our study and show you. And I could tell you, we have a lot of medical professionals that are looking at this right now, because we have a lot of medications that keep being put out for autoimmune, and it's this for this, and this for this, and this for this. You know what I love most about being able to utilize Nrf2 and collagen together? I do not care what the problem is. It's going to be up to the body to take a pause, and it'll help reset itself. And in so doing, that's why we're starting to see some of the results we're seeing.
One other question I wanted to ask is the power of this liquid collagen on our gut health.
Oh my
Can you
gosh.
explain?
Yes, and that's kind of the crux of everything, because I want you to think of your digestive tract as skin on the inside, right? So if we're, of course, we're all seeing an improvement in our hair and our nails and our skin. All that stuff that's like the bonus of all this. But imagine your digestive tract being all of that on the inside, now having a chance to have the fire put out, and now having a chance, not only are you improving it structurally, like you're improving your skin structurally on the outside, you're improving that structurally on the inside. But because you're improving it structurally, you're improving its function. So now it's going to function and operate more the way that it should, and allow the body to start balancing itself again, which is the whole idea between taking in all the nutrients and then utilizing them in our body to do the things it's supposed to do. And so I love how much, and I mean, you have to understand, as I talk to so many men And I'm telling them, they're like, oh, so I'm gonna be on collagen for my skin and my nails. That's how they think of collagen. That's what they've heard. They've heard their wives, their girlfriends, that's what they've heard. Now they're starting to understand this can have a huge impact. And oh, by the way, one of the things that we've seen that's been huge, and we will have more of this coming out in our studies, all of these things have huge impacts on everything from our cardiovascular system. Think about all of our blood vessels. Think of your brain and the tissues that are in your brain. All of these things.
Liver.
Yeah, the liver. I mean, it has a huge impact on all of these things because it's now allowing the biochemistry of the body to operate at its optimum that it can do for the person that's taking it. And that's why I love being able to see where we're going with this in terms of gut health, which is a huge portion of why we have so many different disease states in our world today.
Is there anyone who can't take our collagen?
Well, what I tell this to people no matter what nutrient or whatever they're taking, because oftentimes people will tell me, well, I'm allergic to this or I'm allergic to that. The first question I always ask, all right, do you stop breathing when you take it? Is this something you get a rash from? You get a little headache, you feel a little nauseous, or does it blow up your lips like this and you stop breathing? Because if you do that, then we're gonna have, we're gonna have a little issue of whether or not you're gonna be able to take this, right? But unless it's that, most of the time we can start with a tiny amount and help, because most of the time it's the immune system that's firing too much on things that shouldn't be firing on. And as a result of it, they think they're allergic to something when it's really a sensitivity, and we're just bringing that balance back. And that's why, you know what, and certain people, they tell me, well, you know what, if I take this, I get a little bit of a tummy ache or I get a little bit of a rash or whatever. Then, you know what, we just start with a tiny amount. And we have you take a tiny amount for a day or two or three and see how you do. And then over the time period, we increase that because this combination is powerful. It is powerful. It is going to change things. We are seeing those changes. And oh my goodness, it's just been, I feel such a privilege to be part of the team that's been putting out this information because it's so powerful.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you again for your time and your expertise, and I
it's my
appreciate all
pleasure.
you do for us.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.